What's happening, people? You are through to the Fight Week show. What a week it's been for us. And thank you to everyone that's been waiting. My guest is finally here. He made it. Um, thank, thank you to everybody that's been joining us. And big up Mr. Fury. He has some technical difficulties to join us today, but he's here. He's here. Can you hear me, Mr. Fury?
I hear you very good, bro. How you doing?
All right. Bear with me. Let me just adjust the volume here so I can hear you properly. Yeah, how you been, man?
I'm very good, bro. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to have you join us today.
Amen.
What a week it's been for us, man. It's been a long mad week for us. And thank you to everybody that's joining us right now, everybody that's watching us live, all of you that's watching us in playback. Salute to all of you. We can't do this without you. You guys are the reason why we are here each week. And we appreciate your support. We really, really do. It was a good card that we had last week. Tsarukyan versus Gamrot.
Yep.
Overall, when you look at that card, you know it's always going to be a spicy card, but from the very first fight, you start to see some dodgy decisions from these judges. But there's a saying with the UFC: never leave the fight to the judges, right? Never leave it in the hands of the judges. And we saw it right from the get-go and from the main event as well. What did you make of it?
It was very interesting and very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those when you look at it, yeah. We've got, let's take it from the top. We'll take it from the top fight by fight, from Gamrot versus Tsarukyan all the way down to the fight. Well, all the way down to the last fight on the main card, and then we just fly through the prelims as well. So the Gamrot versus Tsarukyan fight, that fight got fight of the night. Very, very good fight from both of those. I went too sure. You know, a lot of people see it as a robbery. Robbery for Tsarukyan. They believe Tsarukyan won that fight.
No,
do you think Tsarukyan won the fight?
Oh, no, Gamrot won it.
You thought Gamrot won the fight?
Yeah, man.
Okay. For me, I think you got to look at the rounds. I think Gamrot got a couple takedowns, and it's the takedowns that really when I won him the fight. But there's a lot of back and forth, and especially when the fight finishes as fight of the night, when you know it's going both ways with the fighters. You think to yourself, this is going to be very, very hard to call. It's going to be one of those fights, and it's nice to see, because I like fights like that. These are fights that I can't make out who won. I prefer those sort of fights because it means both fighters are giving their all, you know. Yeah. You there? Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm here. Sorry, I missed you.
Right. Yeah. For me, it just feels like both fighters are both of them are giving their role. Shafkat, let's go on to the next fight. Shafkat versus Neil Magni. Now, Neil Magni is a guy that I respect a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's always game. He's always ready to fight anyone, wherever, whenever. Right. He was one of the first people that was calling Khamzat Chimaev. Right.
Yeah.
It was one of the very first people that was calling Khamzat. A lot of people were swerving Khamzat Chimaev. Magni said, I will fight this guy anywhere. Right?
And at any time.
Exactly that. Exactly that. Bear with me 1 second. Right. Give me a sec. Okay. Can you hear me?
And you sound much better now.
Say that again.
Is that much better now?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds a lot. It sounds a lot better. Well, at least from your side, anyways. So, you know, we've Neil Magni is one of those guys for me that is always ready. He's always ready to go. He's ready to fight. He's ready to give his all. And he's one of those guys that for me has a great gas tank. You know, but there's just certain fighters that when you get Magni in front of them, he kind of folds. He just melts in front of some of these fighters. And Shafkat is one of these guys. Shafkat is an up and coming fighter. Everybody kind of knows him. You know what I mean? Him and Chimaev, they've been going at it. Eventually, both of them they're on a collision course, right? Eventually, both of these guys are going to meet, right? And I see good things for Shafkat. I see good things for when you look at the way he performs and what he brings to the table. Eventually he's going to rise to the top. He's just one of those guys you can't stop and not give him the credit he deserves. You know what I mean? To rise to the top.
But question, yeah. He struck with his gas tank. That's a big problem. You got a little more fitter than that.
Yeah.
People pick up off easily, but no, you're struggling your gas tank, and you're picking for them. Easy pickings for them.
And this is the thing. When you think of these guys with gas tanks is one thing if you can weaponize it, if you can turn it into a weapon, and that's when it really means something. You know what I mean? Because if you can't turn it into a weapon, and there's a handful of fighters that weaponizes their gas tank, they wait. Nate Diaz is one of those guys. You know, he will weaponize his gas tank against you, and he just waits till you get to the end of your gas tank, and then Nate Diaz just comes alive. You know, and he just starts putting it on you. He's one of those people. You know, John Jones is also one of those guys. He will wait. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. He will wait. You know, and just pick you apart in the later rounds. Go and look at that fight with Dominic Reyes. You know, in the later rounds, that's when he just starts to put it on you. And Usman is another one of them guys. You know, his gas tank, he uses it against you. Kobe, another one of those. He weaponized that gas tank against you. So there's some fighters like that you know, special fighters with real gas tank on them, and they use it as a weapon against you. They just wait to use that fading, and then they turn it on.
They come alive.
They come alive. Yeah, you know. On to the next fight. Let's look at the next fight. The next fight is Parisian versus Badou. That's another one that Badou got performance of the night. He put it on. I mean, Parisian got fight of the night. I mean, performance of the night bonus, $50,000 for Parisian. Congratulations to him. He is another one that I believe, you know, he came in for redemption, and he got it with Badou. He got it with Badou, because both of these guys are coming into this fight off the back of a loss. You know, both of these guys are coming in off the back of a loss, and Parisian, you know, got the finish on Badou. What did you make of the fight?
I'm going to be honest with you, brother. That's the one fight that I missed, you know.
Right. So, well, definitely Parisian got that big finish on Badou, knocked him out in the first round, and just finished him, and you know, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's just one of those things that Badou for me, I don't think was prepared in his last fight.
Yeah.
And coming into this fight, I said it in the preview that I guarantee he's not going to be prepared for this fight as well. You know, he got finished in the second round, and for Parisian to get the performance of the night bonus on him. On to the next one, Thiago Moises versus Christos Gigos. And Thiago Moises, another one that got performance of the night bonus. Again, another submission in the first round. Big submission for Thiago Moises. We know what Thiago Moises is about. He's a submission specialist, and he knows what he knows. You know, he's a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, he's a black belt BJJ. So you can't play around with him when it comes to getting down on the mat. You know, these guys, they will turn your downs, they'll turn the lights off, they will switch off the lights. And this is what these guys are really, these guys are dangerous, man. They're savages, you know, they're really good. And this is what they're about. I'm not sure what's next for him, but I believe, you know, he's got to look up the rankings, and there's a couple fights up there for him, but it's the frequency that he takes fights with that I'm not, you know what I mean? I wish because he's just got a quick submission in the first round. I wish it's something where he could have a quick turnaround and maybe even get a fight to come to UFC London. And if he's able to make it to UFC London, you know, who knows, you know, what could happen in terms of if he goes out and gets a spectacular finish like he did here. We start looking at top 10. We're looking at top 5 in that very division there. Okay, the next one is a bantamweight fight with Umar Nurmagomedov and Nate Maness. Nate Maness was coming into this fight with 1 loss, 14 wins, 1 loss. But he's a striker. Right? Umar Nurmagomedov, whole different caliber. You know, just the name intimidate certain fighters before they even come into the octagon. You know, anybody that's carrying that kind of name from that part of the world is a problem. Did you see that fight?
Yes. Yes, I believe
that's another one you missed. Okay.
I saw that one.
Right. Umar Nurmagomedov, domination. Utter domination from start to finish. I'm talking 3 takedowns in all rounds.
Yeah, and do you remember when I told you there was some batterings, and that was battering got battered.
Utter domination from start to finish. And this is one of the things that when you look at these guys, I personally think is gonna rule. He's gonna be a champion in that division one day. One day, you know, he's got plenty of time. He's only how old is he? 20, 25, 26, something like that. He's very, very young. So there's plenty of time for him to to do great things in the bantamweight division. I mean, he did say, you know what, if Dana wanted him to fight for the title tomorrow, he's ready to go. He's just those guys. They don't get ready. They stay ready. You see where I'm coming from?
And they are hungry.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, these guys, they it's their hunger that motivates them, and it keeps them grounded. You know, and from that part of the world where they come from, in Dagestan, they see all sorts of things. You know, that in normal day-to-day life, where they think, you know what, I've got opportunity to do something great, and I'm going to grab it with both hands. And that's how I feel about some of the African fighters that's on the roster as well, because they've seen adversity, they've seen the worst of the worst from their native land, from where they come from. They've seen poverty, and they know what it's like. So when they come into the octagon, they like to, you know, almost put on. You know, they like to put on for everyone to let them know that, you know what, I will make it. I will make it in this division. I will make it in this company, and I will make it in this sport. And you know, that's the sort of thing that drive and fuels some of these guys. People like Sadiq Yusuf, you know, those guys. They've seen the worst part coming up, and you know, making it to an organization like this is always a big thing for them.
And his name was someone probably killed me with it, but he supports Arsenal and UFC. What's his name? and he had shot a bit of hard pass, and you usually change his life to make him come straighten up. What's his name? He's the example of what you're saying right there.
I can't remember which
it begins with an F. French Frankie
you're not talking Frimpong, no?
No, probably Frimpong.
Francis Ngannou, heavyweight champion. Heavyweight champion.
Yes. See, I was saying, see.
Yeah, again, the amount of journey that he had to do to get over to France, let alone start, and that's a good example what you just mentioned there. Francis Ngannou is one of those guys that went through so much adversity just to get to where he got to today. I mean, this guy got sent back 5 times trying to cross the desert, and that's real adversity right there. So. Yeah, man, shout out to our heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou. The last one on the main card is Chris Curtis versus Rodolfo Vieira.
Yes. And that fight, at first I was thinking who won that fight, because it's a very close fight, but Chris Curtis won it. Chris Curtis won it. And he showed,
I believe Chris Curtis won it as well.
And he shows his experience.
Yeah.
Experience, yes.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at who his coach is, he trains at Extreme Couture. Extreme Couture is the same gym that Francis Ngannou trains at.
See?
Right? They both train at the same gym, and they got the same coach. So you can understand the way that, because Rodolfo Vieira was always looking for that takedown. And Chris Curtis was so good with the sprawling, with the takedown defense. He sprawled every time, got himself back up, and he was just tagging Rodolfo Vieira.
And also Vieira tried 11 times for takedowns and scored 0. 11 takedowns.
That's what you get. That's what you get from Extreme Couture. When you go to Extreme Couture, because with Francis, when you remember, Francis got beaten up by Stipe, right? With all them takedowns, the very first title fight that he had, he just needed to sort that part of his game out. And there was no better place to call home to go to than Extreme Couture. And Extreme Couture, Eric Nixick is one of the best wrestling coaches out there. And he did such a great job with him. And you could see Francis does not just have confidence in giving takedown defenses, but he now has confidence to actually take people down, pick them up, and slam them down. And that's the work that Eric Nixick from Extreme Couture has actually done for a man like that. And you can expect the same thing from somebody like Chris Curtis. They've got killers in their gym. They train hard. And they go hard at all times. We're just gonna fly through the rest of the card real quick so we can get the hell out of here. We got Carlos Ulberg versus Stefan Chuckweed. A big KO from Carlos Ulberg. I thought, he should have been entitled to fight of the night bonus. He definitely deserved the 50 grand bonus for knocking out Stefan Chuckweed the way he did. Easy was there, Israel Adesanya was there, Volkanovski was there, his whole team, because they all train at CKB, City Kickboxing. That's where they train with the head coach, Eugene Behrman. Behrman is the head coach, and that's another gym that you cannot play with anyone that comes from that gym. I'm talking, Kai Kara France, all the way to Kai Kara France. Yeah, Carlos Ulberg, Israel Adesanya, Alex Volkanovski, you name it, all the guys that come from that gym, you know what I mean?
Serious brothers.
Those guys are killers, all of them. On to the next fight, we got Sheliano Dembeke and TJ Brown, and that was a unanimous decision fight. We got Sergey Morozov and Haulian Paiva. another unanimous decision win there for Sergey Morozov. We've got Cody Durden versus JP Bays. JP Bays lost by knockout, TKO knockout from Cody Durden. The ref had to pull him off, and that was also in the first round. And we got Brian Boom Boom Kelleher versus Mario Batista. Now, Mario Batista is a fighter that trains with Sean O'Malley, right? He trains with Sean O'Malley. And Brian Kelleher, we know how good this guy is. He's got crazy power, but Batista is no joke. He got him down, pinned him down, and got that hook in, cinched in the submission, and that was all she wrote. And the last one on the card was Vanessa Demopoulos versus Jin Yu Frey.
Right, yeah, I saw that one, yeah.
You saw that one, yeah?
Yeah.
So what did you make of that one? How did you think that one panned out?
It was touch and go, but Frey definitely was definitely the victor.
I thought Frey won as well. I really did think Frey won as well. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Jin Yu Frey won. I don't know how they gave it to Demopoulos. It makes no sense to me. Maybe Demopoulos might have won the first. Maybe Demopoulos might have won the first round if they were even going to give her any round. I don't think she won any round, but if they were going to give her anything, maybe the first round, but definitely not the last two.
The first round, no way.
Exactly. And when you hear the judges talking about 30-27, I'm thinking, where do you get 30-27 from?
How?
Like how? I don't understand it. But hey, this sort of things happen. This sort of things happen all the time.
And it becomes like football.
Exactly. Of course, it becomes laughable. Absolutely. It's just one of those. It's just one of those. You just look at it and think. I mean, what were you watching? You lot weren't watching the same fight I was watching, man. Like, what's going on there? It makes no sense. One other quick thing before we get out of here. Khabib Nurmagomedov has now been nominated into the Hall of Fame. What was your best moments, or what would you say was the best fight that you saw Khabib in? Your favorite Khabib moments. Since he's been inducted to the Hall of Fame, I'm going to be asking people about this.
Khabib, it has to be his knockouts. He knockouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the finishes that you've seen Khabib do. Khabib for me is a smash and ground. They got the smash and ground power. It gets you to the ground, and the ground and pound is just crazy. Khabib is finished so many people. Yeah. One of my favorite ones is the one against Conor. Right, his fight against Conor. I still got the poster right here. His fight against Conor was crazy, and it's not just because of the way he finished Conor. It's the whole build-up.
Yeah, the
actual fight itself. And when the fight was done, I've never seen anything like that. This guy jumps over the cage and flies into the crowd. I will never, ever forget that shit. No. It's fucking crazy. It's the most insane shit that I've ever seen, man. After submitting Conor. And I've got to say as well, the way he submitted Justin Gaethje, the way he finished Justin Gaethje, but he had it in his mercy because he knew Justin Gaethje would never tap, right? He heard that Justin Gaethje was never going to tap. Justin Gaethje had his mom and dad cage side at that fight there. And he said, I don't want to have to break his arms in front of his parents. So in the middle of putting that arm bar in, he switched it to a triangle. Right in the middle of putting an arm bar in. He thought about the man's parents. Who does that? Like, which kind of guy does that? He thought about the man's parents while he's about to put him in the arm bar, and thought, you know what? I'm not gonna do this to you in front of your parents. I'm just gonna put you to sleep. And it turned into a triangle, puts him to sleep, and that was all she wrote. I mean, Khabib is just a special athlete. He finished undefeated, and fantastic. Congratulations to him as well. To him, his team, his coaches, his family, all of them. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and that's why we're rocking the Team Khabib hat today.
Always. And finally, what do you think of France going into WWE?
Look, I'm never against fighters trying to make their money.
Yeah.
So if WWE is going to offer him that big money to make sure that him and his family are secured, because like I said, we just said about the adversity that he had to go through to get, to make it over here, to make it over there in America, where where he's able to fight. So I'm never against any of these fighters that for them to make their money. So for me, it's not even a conversation, man. You know what I mean? It's just a case of if Dana's really willing to allow them to go out and do that, then all credit to him. Because Dana is a very, very astute businessman, and if there's money to be made for all parties, I'm sure he'll sign off on it. So let's wait and see what happens on that one. Okay. Thank you very much to everybody that's joined us this evening. All of you that's watching live, all of you that stayed with us. Sorry for the delay. We had technical difficulties with Mr. Fury here.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
He just couldn't log in. I was waiting patiently for him, but eventually he got it. Yeah. I was just about to come on solo, but he just turned up and he got it done. Thank you for coming to join us on the show today. Thank you very much for coming through, man. And we've just uploaded a video of me and John Anik on the channel. Please go and show you some love, share it around, you know what I mean, get it out there. We're trying to get our numbers up as well. And thank you very much to John Anik for giving us his time to come on the channel, so we could have a sit down and talk some John Anik stuff and some UFC stuff. So please, if MMA is your thing, if UFC is your thing, if combat sport is your thing, then that video there, that interview there is for you. Go and watch it, right? I had some nerves at the beginning, but John Anik helped me settle. You know what I mean? He helped me settle. Very, very generous, very, very good guy. And please go and support that. Go and support that video. Go and support the channel. And on to the next video. Hasta la vista. Salute, people.
Bye-bye.